would that in your quiet time, you would read the entire number of Psalms, the 46th number. And I want to just, for our hearing, I want to just read verse 10. Psalms 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathens. I will be exalted in the earth. Be still and know that I am God.
All right.
Thus in the reading of God's holy word, and I won't talk from this familiar phrase, let go and let God.
Yes.
Well, y'all go on and help me. Y'all go on and help me. Go on and help me. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, let go.
Let go. Yeah. All right.
One of our biggest challenges is that of letting go of what we don't have control of.
Right.
I might need to say that again. One of our biggest challenges is that of letting go of what we don't have control of. Yet another challenge is that of allowing God to handle that you can't control. We got a problem with letting go, and we got a problem with letting God handle that situation. Because there are some moments in life where we are confronted with a challenge that we need to simply let go and let God. I wish I had a cosigner right there. You see, when you don't know whether to go left or right, up or down, backwards or forward, that's a good time to let go and let God. The word is be still and know that I am God. That is to take your hands off of it. I mean, whatever it is or whoever it is, and let God handle that situation. Matter of fact, every last one of us have our own different challenges that we face from day to day. But the God who made the heavens and the earth is able to provide us with whatever it is we need in order to make it through, make it around, make it over, or even to go under. Touch your neighbor and tell your neighbor, for me, God's trying to tell you something. Be still. Be still. Be still. Yeah. Since the Lord never sleeps nor slumbers, why are both of you up all night? That might have been for me. That one might have been for me. But we up all night trying to figure out what we gonna do, what can we do, how we gonna get out of that situation. And when you ought to turn it over to God and go on and go to sleep, since He gonna be up all night. It don't make sense for both of y'all to be up all night. Put that in God's hand and let God work it out. I wish I knew somebody that knew that God can work it out. Because God will work it out, and He'll work it out in your favor. I believe that today we have learned We will learn the value of letting go and let God.
All right.
All right.
I see 3 things in the text that'll help us.
All right.
Anybody interested?
Yes.
The first thing is kind of tough, but stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop whatever you're doing. Stop worrying. Stop fighting.
All right.
Stop crying.
Yeah.
Stop trying to figure it out. Stop whatever you are doing. Stop worrying. Yeah. Stop complaining. Stop fussing. Stop listening to everybody. You know, we guilty of that. We listen to everybody. Everybody always know what we ought to be doing, and we fail to look at. They can't even handle their own stuff. Stop all of that nonsense. Stop letting everybody. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. We'll listen to everybody but God. And so the psalmist is saying unto us, I know what you're going through. I know what you're dealing with, but stop. Be still.
Yes, sir.
God is saying unto us, y'all need to get your hands off of it. Because sometimes you have to step back
That's it.
in order to actually see.
Right.
Anybody been there? Anybody ever been blessed with hindsight?
Amen.
I mean, after the storm was over, after you finished going through that, then you can see what was actually going on. And God is saying unto us, if I can just get y'all to be still, and stop worrying, stop pasting the flow, stop calling every Tom, Dick, and Harry trying to get their advice. Stop trying stuff, just be still. Excuse me right here. Stop looking for and hunting for another job. Just be happy right there where you are and don't quit before you get another one. I just had to slide that in. I just had to slide that in. You got to let go and let God. Right now, somebody's sitting up in here, but your mind is somewhere else. Stop that. Stop it. God trying to tell you something. If you just be still, God will speak to you.
That's it.
Somebody worrying about that job. Somebody worrying about that man. Somebody worrying about that woman. Somebody worrying about that son. Worrying about their daughter. I got some news for you. Just be still. Let go and let God.
All right.
All right.
All right.
You see, we can make it worse by keep trying instead of being still. Anybody been there? Do whatever you need to do to allow God to work it out. Watch this. Sit on your hands. Fold your arms. Keep your mouth closed. Go ahead and just close your eyes and meditate for a moment. God needs us sometime to just be still. Anybody been where you was broken, you needed a little change? And you just got in your car, went over to somebody's house trying to get it, and they didn't have it, and then you left their house. You go run to somebody else's house trying to get it. Anybody? I wish I knew somebody back in the day when Marianne, you know anything about this? When you used to try to get the Coke bottles and count them up so you can go and trade them in for a little change. And God is simply saying, I don't need y'all trying to fix nothing. I need you to be still. It's kind of like anybody. I know I'm talking to modern day parents, but old school parents would while you fidgeting and all of that kind of stuff, while they trying to do some stuff, and you trying to get dressed and you don't even know how to put your shoes on the right foot. You can't even get it. And finally they just say, sit down and wait till I get to you. Sometimes that's what God tells us. Sit down somewhere and wait till I get to you. But it ain't your turn yet. Just be still. God is simply telling us you need to let go let God.
Yeah.
Because there are some storms that you have to simply be still and wait until the storm is over.
Yes. You're right.
Oh, I wish I had a co-signer right there. I wish I had a Anybody ever drove in a storm? And sometimes it get to raining so hard and lightning and thundering so hard till you don't want to, but you got to pull over. And just wait until the storm is over. And somebody right now is in a storm. And you're so busy trying to get out of the storm when God wants you to be still. Can I tell you that God don't have to make the storm quit? He can just get in the storm with you. And sometimes God is trying to get in while we're trying to get out. And so God is telling us, be still. Stop all of that madness. Anybody remember? Any Bible readers remember the storm and Jesus was in the ship?
Yes, sir.
Sleep. They woke him up, saying, Master, careth not that we perish. And Jesus got up, spoke a word to the winds and the waves, and all he said was, be still. And can I tell you that if your storm is going on and God has the power, he can tell the winds to be still, he can tell the waves to behave, but if he don't do it, then don't worry about it, you be still. He said, be still and know that I am God. And somebody going through some stuff. And God is simply saying, be still. Anybody there, y'all just, you're pacing the flow. Going through, some of y'all reading other books. Some of y'all trying to watch Jerry Springer. Some of y'all talking about, I wonder if I should take my family on Jerry Springer. Don't do it, don't have family dirty laundry on national TV. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't even in the text. Listen, but stop all of that nonsense. God is simply telling us, be still. Somebody got a son that you just can't handle. You just keep tell that girl of yours, that daughter of yours, they won't listen. Sometimes since they won't listen, you the one need to be still. Right. And old folk used to say it like this. Old folk used to say it like that. Give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. So all you got to do is just be still. Stop all of that. Stop all of that. I mean, come to a complete stop. Some of y'all finna get a ticket. Cause y'all at a stop sign in your life and y'all yield and keep on rolling.
Come on. Well,
anybody been there? The officer see you at the stop sign and you don't really stop.
That's it.
You slow down, you pause, and then you keep right on going. And sometimes God is putting up stop signs in our lives. Matter of fact, that's why you can't get over it. That's why you can't get around it. That's why you can't get under it. God is trying to tell you, be still. Somebody ought to know something about when you buy a car. You don't always have to go with the first deal. Sometimes God just wants you to be still. Amen. Amen, somebody. Somebody right now, you're in a hurry. But see, we're in this microwave oven era. We want it right now. If I can't get it now, hello somebody. No, sometimes you just got to learn how to wait. You got to learn how to wait on God, because your due date is not always God's due date. I wish I knew somebody that knew Job. Job would tell you he might not come when you want him. But he's always on time. And so God is simply saying, stop. Stop. Will y'all help me? Touch your neighbor and say, stop it. Stop it. He says, let go. and let God. Well, then the second thing is you got to know something about the sovereignty of God. He says, be still and know that I'm God. Old school would just say it like this: He's God and God all by himself. What should help you stop is knowing the sovereignty of God. I mean, the sovereignty of God is the biblical teaching that all things are under God's rule and control, and that nothing happens without his direction or his permission. God is sovereign. He can do whatever he wants to, whenever he wants to, because he is sovereign. Okay, the Hebrew boys, they are being confronted with the fiery furnace. And King Nebuchadnezzar wants to throw them in the fiery furnace, but they know something about the sovereignty of God. They said, oh, King, we're not careful to answer you on this matter, because the God we serve is able to deliver us from this fiery furnace, and even if he chooses not to, we still ain't gonna bow down, because we understand the sovereignty of God. Can I tell you something? Is that God is just not a God that'll help you get a job, but he'll let you get fired before he show you another job. Because he's sovereign. He knows what to do. He knows all about the timing. Sometimes God's time is not our time, but we need to keep in mind that he's sovereign. God don't make mistakes. Sometimes what you're running from, you got to go through. And you got to simply know to let go and let God. Can I get a witness? God rules. No, he super rules both heaven and earth. Somebody needs to know he got the whole world in his hands. He rules because the earth is the Lord, the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwelleth therein. Anybody knows that he sits high, but he looks low. I know you've heard it over and over again, but can I say it one more time? God can do anything but fail. He's omnipotent. He's omnipresent. He's all-knowing, and he's everywhere at the same time, because our God is sovereign. I know this is after Easter, but Jesus declared all power that's on heaven and earth has been trusted in my hands. So somebody up in here needs to let go and let God handle your crisis. Let him handle your situation. Let him handle your marriage. Let him handle your finances. Let him handle your illness. Let him handle your family drama. Let him handle your job situation. Let him handle your children. Let him handle your pain, and go ahead and let him handle your enemies and all of your trials and your tribulations, because God is able. And you got to turn that thing over to God. Somebody needs to let go and let God. Know something about the sovereignty of God. He will work it out. Anybody know he'll work it out while you're trying to figure it out? When God's already worked it out, you just got to know what to do. Anybody been reading in the book of Exodus when they got to the Red Sea and Pharaoh and his army were behind them, but the word Moses said, God said unto Moses, don't worry about it, stretch forth your arm. And then Moses stood there and saw the Israelites who were complaining, who was crying and all of that kind of stuff, and he said, be still and watch the salvation of the Lord. And that's when God whining and whimpering. Stop all of that crying. Stop all of that whimpering and going back and forth, pacing the floor. Just be still. And watch the sovereignty of God. God gonna work that thing out. Can I get a witness? God is able. He's able to work your situation out. But you're gonna have to let go. I've been blessed. I've been blessed with some children. But when they little, and y'all gonna help me. And when they want to do stuff, when they want to sweep, when they want to make up their bed, anybody? And they be really trying and don't want you to help. And the bed is getting worse and worse. And for some reason, they don't want you to help them, and they just keep, and sometimes that's the way we are as adults. We're trying to do it. We're trying our best to do it, but we can't do it. And God is saying, let go. All right. Somebody up in here right now, you holding on to something? Well. And God trying to tell you, let it go. Well. He said, be still and know that I am God, not you. And so you got to learn how to let that thing, let it go. Yes. Quit holding on to it. Yeah. Quit holding on to the car you can't afford. If you at your limit on the credit card, let it go. Let it go. So we just. And if you trying to keep up with the Joneses, when you ain't got Joneses money, let it go. Just because they got a new car don't mean you got to go get one. Matter of fact, instead of you over here being jealous of their new car, you ought to thank God yours paid for. The sovereignty of, don't you know He won't put no more on us than what we can bear? So let go. Be still. And know that I am God. Somebody need to stop. Somebody need to embrace the sovereignty of God. Don't y'all know God can do something with your boss? God can do something with your spouse. He can do something with your children. He can do something with your family drama. All you got to do is just lift it up to Him in prayer. And then you let it go. Because God knows how. Yeah, He does. He knows how to work it out, and He will work it out in your favor. And so anybody know anything about He's able? I mean, you all not say that if you ain't tried it. I mean, but have you tried Him? And God has, He worked out something that you didn't even see how He worked it out. All you know is it worked out. If anybody like the blind man, y'all trying to ask me, how did I receive my sight? All I know is whereas I was blind, now I see. Because sometimes God worked that out. And child, I don't know how I got this car. I don't know how I got this hat. I don't know how I got this job. Because my credentials said I shouldn't have it. But God, that's the sovereignty of God. I'm through. The third thing, let go and let God. Stop it. Recognize the sovereignty of God. And then know that God is our refuge. Refuge means shelter or protection. A sheltered or protected state, safe from something that's threatening, harmful, or unpleasant.
Yeah.
God is our refuge. And we need to understand that God is going to always take care of us. He is our refuge. He is our very present help in the time of trouble. Somebody needs to turn it over to Jesus and let him work it out. Whatever you're going through, remember that all things work together for good to them who love God and to them who are called according to his purpose. So I say to us again, let go and let God. Anybody know that God is our refuge? He is our protector. He is our shelter in the time of storm. And I hear the psalmist David saying, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. And I like when David get down in that psalm, he say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, he said, I will fear no evil because thou art with me. Somebody needs to know that God, he is our refuge. You just need to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because God will, oh yeah, God will, won't he work it out? God will turn it around if you just wait on God. I know it gets hard sometimes. I know you got to go through the valley sometimes, but God will. Anybody know God will take care of us? Be not dismayed, whatever betides you, because God will take care of you. And so I decided that I'm going to let go and let God handle it. I'm going to be one of the ones to admit it that it's too big for me. I've already tried to work it out, but I tried and I tried and I tried. I wish I had a co-signer like that, but I can't seem to turn that thing around. I got so red the other day. God said, be still and know that I am God. And so I turned it over to God, and I'm going to watch him work it out. I already know he might not come when I want him, but if I just hold on to God's unchanging hand, I know that everything will be alright. And somebody sit up in here, you're holding on to your trouble, you're holding on to your pain, but God is saying, let go and let me work it out. And I come to tell you, if God could work out a dead Jesus, then surely he can work out your little problem. Because yes, he died. Everybody know he died. But early, Sunday morning, he got up. Did he get up? Let God. Let God. God get ready to work a miracle in your life. But you got to let go and let God. Sometime in life, your back is up against the wall. You don't know which way to turn. I come to tell you, don't give up. Learn how to mark time. And when you mark time, Just keep on marching. You ain't got to move. Just keep on marching. And God will. Oh, yes. Won't God work it out for him? I wish I knew somebody who was just about to throw in the towel. But then God won't he make a way out of nowhere? Well, sometimes, I see you, Deacon William. Sometimes you got to just fold your arms and let God work it out. He will. He will. Won't he work it out? I wish I knew about 2 or 3 folk who's not ashamed to tell somebody that God will. God will. God will. Won't he work it out? Just hold on. Hold on. We've been made to for a night. But we'll come in the morning. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Anybody know God will? Why don't you just say yeah? Come on, say yeah. Say yeah. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let it go. Trust God. Trust God. Anybody know he'll work it out? Anybody know he'll work it out? Sometimes he works it out in ways that we don't even understand. We over here waiting on this door to open and he opened up that door. Don't you be no fool. He's showing you that door open and you trying to, I'm just going to wait till he open up that door. That ain't your door to go through. Go through the door he opened.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let go.
Yes, sir.
Y'all over here worrying. Blood pressure up. Sugar up. Headache. Backache. Just ain't thinking about it.
Yes, sir.
God said let it go.
Right.
You walk around here all mad, frowning all on your face. Y'all be smiling now.
Yes, sir.
Y'all be smiling because somebody up in here ought to feel the way I feel.
All right.
And somebody up in here ought to feel the way Darlene feels. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but he's going. I don't know when, but I know he's going. Yeah. He gonna fix it. I wish I knew somebody. He gonna fix it. I don't know how it's gonna turn it out. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I know God gonna work it out. I'm just gonna have to trust him. So God is saying, you over here all tired. You've been fighting. When I told you I'll fight your battles for you. Why you fighting? God is saying, be still. Be still.
Yes, sir.
Some of y'all done ran everywhere looking for answers. And you ain't found now. God said, be still.
Yes, sir.
That's what he's saying, be still. Stop all the madness. Stop all of that. Stop robbing Peter to pay Paul. Just be still for a minute.
That's it.
Before you create a new bill, be still with the ones you got. Know something about the sovereignty of God. Can I tell you, I don't care what the doctor said. He ain't got the last word.
Right.
He may know how to work on you, but he ain't the one that made you. I wish I knew somebody right up in here. Doctor told you one thing, but then God showed up. Oh, come on, I wish I knew somebody. Doctor said one thing, but then God said another thing. The doctor said, everybody that needs to, you better come see them because they look like they ain't gonna make it through the night, and somebody's still here. That's because the doctors, they ain't got the last word. And so you need to know something about God's sovereignty. And then he's our refuge. God gonna take care of you. Well then, your car may flip over. But he'll take care of you and let you walk out without a scratch. I wish I knew somebody right there. Mary, the doctor said cancer. Told you didn't have but 5 years to live, and you've been here 15. God is our refuge. He's our protector. He's our shelter. Yeah. God is able. I wish I knew something. He's able. Somebody sitting up in here right now, you've been running around, you know you don't belong to nobody's church like that. You ain't going like you should. God saying, stop all of that. Somebody tell me, well, I know, I'm waiting to find the right church. You done been to 10. It ain't the churches, it's you. You need to sit down somewhere and be still. And since you're here, y'all will sit down here. And be still and know that I am God. Come on, we want to afford somebody an opportunity right now. You sitting up in here, you say, you know what? Remain on target this Sunday. Because I've been just running around here like a chicken got his head cut off. And God's telling me to be still. God telling me to be still. Now I know the music ministry ain't up there in the choir stand and y'all down here. Will y'all help Darlene? Because somebody needs to know that God, he'll give you victory. I wish I knew somebody up out of here. Some man, some woman, some boy or girl need to let go and let God. And if you hear why we sing this number, come to God, come.
I don't know how it's gonna.
Somebody ought to come to God.
I don't know when he's gonna. Oh no.
Somebody ought to come.
Yes, I know. God's gonna make a way.
Anybody believe
I
that?
know he will. He's gonna do it. You can help me say.
Come on, somebody. God is talking to you. He's talking to you. Why don't you come?
Just how it's gonna do it. I don't know when he'll decide to. But this I know. I know he will.
Somebody ought to just turn it over to God this morning. Turn it over to him. And he'll work it out.
He never told me how.
Right there.
Just how he's gonna.
Why don't you come to Jesus?
He
Why don't you
never
come?
told me when. Whenever he decides to. I just keep trusting him and leaning on him, and I know, God's gonna make a way.
Somebody else ought to just
I
come.
know he will,
Just
church.
turn it over to him.
He's gonna do it.